Uh,
Big ball, fat, making my end. Fucking big killer, hot.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube, man? What's happening, man? You guys already know who it is, man. It's your boy, Sports God TV, where we talk sports like religion. If you haven't already, man, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. Hit that notification bell as well so you could get notified when I upload. Share the content, jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking. All right, here we go. Week number 2. My predictions for week number 2 didn't go so well, but I got to run down my picks for week number 2. I have my week number 3 predictions on where I'm going and who I'm leaning towards. Also going to talk about my surprise NFL team so far on the win column, and also my surprise picks on the loss column. And then we're going to do a little bit of fantasy, man. But anyway, man, just lock in with your boy. All right, so look, man, for week number 2, I did pick the Philadelphia Eagles to upend the Minnesota Vikings, which they did 34-28. The Broncos versus the Commanders. Now, I did go against my mom. You all know that I represent the Washington Commanders, and the Commanders surprised me with a wonderful victory, being down 18 points in the second quarter, in the early of the third quarter, to be able to climb back within that game and to steal a victory there in a hostile environment with high altitude, being mile high. Yes. The Seahawks versus the Lions. I chose the Lions to get the win over the Seahawks, which the Seattle Seahawks did their thing in overtime. Now, you know, the Detroit Lions have been on a lot of people's board as being the favorite to come out of the division and to be a force to be reckoned with. The Detroit Lions are a good football team, but they did give up a loss versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Chiefs and the Jaguars, I chose the Chiefs to take care of the Jags, which they did. They didn't look super impressive, but they did. The defense stepped up big time, and they got the win on the road. The Jets and the Cowboys, I had picked the Cowboys, but of course, since Aaron Rodgers is done for the year, that game did not have the same feel, did not have the same magnitude, but anyhow, the Dallas Cowboys destroyed the New York Jets. The Browns and the Steelers. I had the Browns beating the Steelers, and the Steelers played good football. The defense is legit. TJ Watt obviously is a bona fide star. Probably one of the, if not the best defensive player in the league today as we speak. But the Cleveland Browns lost Nick Chubb, man. One of my favorite running backs, a gruesome injury, so gruesome to the point where as though they did not want to show the replay. I didn't see it in real time, but you can hear the agony and pain from Nick Chubb, the same knee that he has torn before. Some say that it was a legit hit from Fitzpatrick. He went down low, but that's the catch-22 when you don't want players to go and hit up high. And, you know, them knees become a target place. And wish Nick Chubb a speedy recovery. The Cleveland Browns did re-sign Kareem Hunt. So hopefully the Browns can get it back on track. Now, week number 3. And I'm only doing key games, my key picks. And I'm going to go over the spread and or the money line with the team. First up, Thursday night, you got the Giants versus the 49ers, which most believe right now are the best team in football. I totally agree. Defense is legit. Purdy has the best QBR rating in the National Football League as we stand today. We know about McCaffrey in the backfield, and Debo and Ayuk and Kittle. San Francisco looks like a bona fide Super Bowl contender. Then we have the Buffalo Bills traveling to Landover here in the DMV, the nation's capital, versus my Washington Commanders. Real quick, San Francisco is favored by 10 versus the Giants, and I look for San Francisco to cover that 10-point spread. Now, the Bills and Commanders, the Commanders are 6.5-point underdogs versus the Buffalo Bills. We know Buffalo are and has been a legitimate Super Bowl contender for the last few years. I expect Buffalo to come in ready to rock and roll, but with the newfound energy and the newfound camaraderie in the Commanders locker room, hey man, going down by 18 points versus the Broncos, usually our teams fold the tent, but it seems like there's a different vibe in that locker room with those guys. I expect the Commanders to keep this close. I'm going to roll with the Commanders and take the 6.5 points. The Falcons versus Detroit Lions. The Falcons, a surprise team, 2-0. Explosive young talent, Bijan Robinson at the running back. He has stepped on the scene and has made his presence felt already in the National Football League. Detroit Lions, I just spoke highly of them on how they have the respect for most people in the league that they're going to be a serious contender. You've seen it week 1 versus the defending champions on their home field. I expect the Detroit Lions to cover the 3.5-point spread. I'm rolling with Detroit at home. Now, two of more of my surprise teams, the Chargers and the Vikings. Both teams are 0-2. The Vikings, we know what they did last year, and the Chargers is just filled with talent all across the board. Both teams come in the game 0-2 in Minnesota. The point spread is even. I'm going to take the Chargers to get their first W. And it's almost panic mode it's still early in the season, but it's almost in the panic mode. Neither team wants to go down 0-3, but somebody will. And I'm choosing the Chargers to take care of business. And then we have the Eagles versus the Bucks. The Buccaneers are another surprise team. Losing Tom Brady due to retirement. No one knew what to expect coming from Baker Mayfield, but so far Baker Mayfield has found a chemistry with Mike Evans. And Tampa Bay has always had a great defense. They got a defensive-minded coach in Todd Bowles. And Tampa is surprising a lot of teams so far early on. Philly, on the other hand, the representative of the NFC in the Super Bowl last year, they're not looking like the team from last year, but it seems that they're starting to try to get things rolling there in Philadelphia. But I'm going to take the +5 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as I expect a close game. And it may even possibly could come down to a field goal, but I'm going to roll with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the surprise teams in the win column this year are the Washington Commanders, 2-0, the Atlanta Falcons, 2-0, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also 2-0. And then the surprise teams, as far as the loss column go, are the Cincinnati Bengals, the Chargers, and the Vikings. I just spoke about those two. It's very surprising to see those three teams this early to be 0-2. Now, here we go. Fantasy. Quarterback. Who would I start this weekend, or who should you start this weekend? Start Patrick Mahomes versus the Chicago Bears. I expect Patrick Mahomes to carve up the Chicago Bears. Who to sit? I'm going to sit, if you have him, you might want to consider Josh Jacobs versus a tough steel curtain defense. I just spoke about them versus the Cleveland Browns, and they are legitimate. They swarm to the ball. They gang tackle. The Steelers are starting to get into a groove. Wide receiver, I will start Keenan Allen versus the Minnesota Vikings. I expect Justin Herbert to have a great game. He has no turnovers. He's thrown for a lot of yards, but the team is still 0-2. Tight end, I'm going with Mark Andrews, second game back versus the Colts. I expect Mark Andrews to continue to insert himself in that offense. And the Ravens are looking really, really, really solid this year. And the defense that I will start is the Dallas Cowboys. The defense have been lights out. They have outscored the New York teams combined. What was that? 70-10, I believe. The defense is legit. Micah Parsons, man, probably can contend for Defensive Player of the Year this year. And they playing against the Cardinals, man. I mean, the Cardinals have played tough their first 2 games, but I do expect Dallas defense to show up big. What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments who you see. Throw your picks in the comments too, man, as well, man. Let's help each other out. It's us against the bookies. It's your boy, Sports God TV, where we talk sports like religion, and I'm out. Till the next time.